Hello, this is Phil Fourwave. Just getting out of the gym on this sunny day in Cologne. And I was thinking about this for a week now. So I was at the Crude Transmissions Festival last Saturday in Leiden, uh, the Harsh Noise Festival at the Resistor over there. And I just wanted to give like a little, like a little review, if you could call it that, on uh, how it was going for me and the artists I saw and what my impression was, and just hoping to get a couple of other people, mobilized a little bit to um, just vocalize their experiences, not just at that festival, but at live noise in general, what their impression was, and rehashing the vibe at the show a little bit. And yeah, I just thought, on my walk home, I'm just hitting the grocery store really quick, and I just wanted to talk about the acts I saw a little bit and the vibes I had during the festival a little bit. And my friend Sven and I, he does camera records. We went to Leida on Saturday and together, and unfortunately we missed the first three acts of the festival and just came in time of 886 VG to start. And yeah, it was a very cut up centric kind of set. um, Very violent in sound, I would say, in that the noises were very harsh. The artist was playing, but he left like a lot of space in between the sounds, which made like the impact of each hit very violent, basically. And it opened up a trend, what I felt, that like the first couple of artists at the festival would be very cut up centric. And yeah, it was a cool set. I really enjoyed it. Like had a great narrative arc. Basically, the vibes were starting out really controlled in his set, and it just exploded into chaos after 10 minutes. And at some point, he pulled back a little bit and playing a little more of, you had more the feeling of a concrete set a little bit before he punched in with all the distortion his MIDI controller and his effects could give away. And I really enjoyed the set. Yeah, it was a very powerful, very impactful, very violent set, and slow moving, which I enjoyed a lot. I don't know if I'm getting the order right there. I think the next set was by Sword of Damocles, and yeah, it was some stuttery, heavy, harsh noise, with some elements of cut up and just heavy stutters. It was cool. It wasn't exactly my vibe, I would say, and it just didn't really like hit me right. But it was certainly a very cohesive and cool set. Yeah. The next set, what I believe was by Flori Jansen, was a sample heavy noise set, sometimes harsh, sometimes not. I like the concept that he was basically performing on his phone, probably on some sampler app, some koala sampler, which was basically a nice commentary, what I thought, about because over the course of the night it was visible as well, like it was, there was a lot of gear s- stuff going on, a lot of MIDI controllers, a lot of modular synthesizers and whatever, and he basically performed with his phone, which was cool. The noise itself, it was, how it was, for me personally, nothing to really write home about, but it was, some cool noise, but it just, that nothing stuck with me specifically, but for that night, it just was a cool performance. And especially that thing that he was basically sitting at the stairs right at the stage and just having a snack and performing the noise on his phone was kind of cool and ballsy move. And yeah, Lorenzo Abattoir was the next one, and I initially was put off a little bit because I thought, okay, here we go, another set where someone is chewing on some piezos and filling half an hour with it. But I was pleasantly surprised. There was a lot more commotion and ruckus getting into his set soon after, where he was basically creating these kind of tape loops, which he somehow managed to splice, probably through a sampler. Not even tape loops, but I don't know what his setup was. But yeah, it became a really complex physical piece he was playing, very performative in his nature. It felt very genuine and honest, how the guy was playing. Obviously there were you could compare him, you could pull comparisons to Dillaway a little bit, but I felt like a genuinity by the guy that I think I will follow up with his stuff a little more, because it had a very, very special air, the kind of noise he did. After a short soundcheck break, Misère came next. I saw them, I think, 4 years ago at the first edition of the Crude Transmissions Festival, and I had a tape at home by them, and I had a different sound in my memory. And they basically, the set of them this time around was a lot more what I felt like ominous and brooding, less right up out of the gate explosive. It took some more time to really dense the atmosphere they were trying to build. And at some point, 15 minutes in, they were, going wild and just full-on chaotic, harsh noise, very hard. But I remembered, like in the past, it was a little more, gung-ho right from the get-go. And this time, they took their time a little bit. There was, like a certain, I wouldn't say narrative arc, but they set a groundwork of vibe before having, the whole piece explode into this maelstrom of noise, where I would have to say, for my feeling, that was probably the most, like the heaviest set that night. Really like in weight of composition and sound. Great set. I like what they're doing, and they were definitely one of my highlights that night. Not saying that the other people weren't cool, but they were definitely they were fun. They were a lot of fun. Next act was Violent Shogun. and I had high hopes because that was probably that one act I was the most excited about seeing that night. I got that CD of him at home, the Brittle CD, and I love it. I love it to pieces. And yeah, he performed, and he did not disappoint at all. Like, in fact, it surpassed my not expectations, but you know what I was setting myself up to see, basically. It was a very free set, you know, like until that point, that night, I had the feeling. I mean, I heard the first three acts I missed. They were kind of more on the mellow side. I don't know if that's true. But until that point, until Violent Shogun, it was very like loud, hard-hitting noise. And Violent Shogun really took the whole palette of dynamics that are basically audible and possible and used it in his set. And there were some samples of melody here and there, but it never, you know, really went into the musical side. It was he was basically creating a dreamscape and a very, very specific world and vibe with a very specific coloring. It felt kind of stark and gray and kind of vintage in vibe what he was playing, but it was amazing. Like from front to back, it became a little harsher while the set was going, but never, he never went into full on harsh noise territory. He was just using all the dynamic range you can get, like in performance and volume. And yeah, I just loved it so much. Like I was happy to see the set that night. Really, I could say that. Vincent Dallas, yeah, what's there to say? It was a party again. I don't know. For me, probably like the. This feels a little obnoxious to say now, but the king of European harsh noise at the moment. It's just, right from the first moment, you were in for a ride. It was very forceful. The sounds that were given, the dynamics, the filtering, and this time around, I had the feeling. Okay, he spent a little more time to basically find that perfect ground to just start riff off of and freak out. It took a little longer this time around, but after, I would say, 10 minutes, it was just gung-ho, balls to the wall. People were going crazy for him, me as well, and it was just, it was an absolute party and crazy. It's just every time, seeing Vincent Dallas, just so much fun. And yeah, it was a fairly short set, I think 15 minutes about, and then everything was said and done. And it was just a very invigorating kind of thing. And yeah, Vincent Dallas, as always, was amazing. And yeah, it was, I would say, one of the three highlights I had during the festival, along with Violent Shogun and Misère. Parasite Nurse, hard, heavy set, heavy cut up noise, sometimes bordering into harsh noise blasts. I enjoyed it. It's not really like the kind of music I gravitate to, and it's, it kind of wears me out after a couple of minutes already, because it's just so taxing. It just grabs your attention like all of the fucking time, and it leaves no room for interpretation for me. But I gotta say, like, the artist, they kind of did it all. There was movement all the time. um she did it with, a kind of a wink. There were these kind of licks, basically, that where she used the panning of the system, like, in a really smart way, and these kind of very smart decisions in the performance, which I enjoyed a lot. At some point, the set, went down in volume a little bit and intensity, and it basically all there again, like, sounded a little like a musique concrète kind of performance, a little bit before at some point that massive noise blast just came in, and which led into the last 3 to 5 minutes of the set, where it went all balls to the wall again. And yeah, it was cool. I think that wouldn't be something I would really spend much time with listening to in my free time, I would say, because it's just so crazy all of the time, and at some point, it just fatigues me, and there is not enough for me to explore in the sound. But for live, like, it was a force. Like, that's what I would say. It was a force, and that a very smart force, with very smart decisions in performance. And yeah, it was cool. Liked it. JHK. I don't have too much recollection about that set. I can remember that the single elements of the set were very cool. It was harsh sounds, but not full-on blast noise. There was a lot of space in these. I remember 3 pieces he played, and using a lot of room, a lot of time to have these signals, like basically slash through the silence, and creating these more like sculptures. Like, it felt like more of a sculptural approach than creating like a monolith right from the get-go. And it was cool, though I have to say, like, chances were missed a little bit to basically, in each piece, come to the point a little bit, to bring the intention across. Not early on, but have like a narrative arc leading to, okay, this is what the piece is about, this is what that's about. And it felt a little long for me, and it had my mind sway a little bit. But I gotta say, it sounded great. And even though it's maybe not noise, that sticks with me a lot. It was cool. It was definitely cool, and it had some oomph to it. I can say that. And the last act of the night was Distraxi, English power electronics artist. Very well composed, dense, and narrative driven, and magnetic. That's the word. Yeah, power electronics set. It was every decision that was made, you could see, okay, it was deliberate. There's intention behind every single piece of gear laying on the table, and it was, as I remember, like the only set that had vocals, and it was very intense. I liked it a lot, even though it's not music I really listen to much, because I find it very negative. if I should say. Like, there's not much room for me to feel my own feelings. This brand of power electronics usually dictates, the mood a lot, and it's something I like to check out sometimes, and it certainly works well in performance. But yeah, on the musical side, or on the genre side, it's not too much my kind of thing. But the performance, it was magnetic. It was raw and so well done and entrancing almost. And yeah, I've never heard of the artist before, and I will make sure to follow their stuff a little more, because I felt a lot of raw earnestness in their art, and yeah, it was really, really cool. Other than that, the festival was very well organized, as always. The crew of the Resistor was awesome. The food was very good. They served, and the sound was fucking amazing. Like, this time around, and I haven't been there for a couple of years, but the sound was just so differentiated, but had so much oomph behind it, so much force. It never felt too loud and just obnoxious in a way. It was always just in a range that, okay, this is blowing your fucking ears off, but you can hear everything. And the sound people, they reacted really, really quick. You usually could hear, like, in the first 10 seconds of each set, okay, they were finding the right settings, the right volumes and panning and stuff like that. And from that point onward, like, it was just chef's kiss for a Harsh Noise Festival. It just sounded so great. There was a lot of panning going on with each act as well, and wherever you were in the venue, like in that little concert room, you always had an idea and a feeling of that panning, even when you were standing not right in front of where the artist was performing, because they were performing at different places in the room. You always had the idea of the imaging of the different channels, and yeah, it was very well done. It was just such a pleasure just to listen there. Yeah, and other than that, I think we were out at 1 a.m. and the whole thing was done by then. Between the soundcheck breaks, there was a very quick pace from artist after the next artist and stuff, but it was never really hectic, or it just, there was no time basically to get tired during the whole day, even though we were drinking beer like the whole day, sometimes drinking a coffee or some water in between, but like, there was never like a lull. And yeah, it's beautiful festival, amazing. And whenever you have the chance, just get out, get to Leiden, and just support what they're doing there, and support noise in general. There were some merch tables where people were selling and trading, and there were some great talks during that night, and had some amazing talk with Zach from Avenit. So hi, Zach. Remy, Violent Shogun. Hi, Remy. Who else? Jim Ural. We had some talk. Sven and I had some talk with him in the cafe, and he's a very nice dude. And we're, just having a little chat about all things noise and grindcore, which was fun. and yeah, and some other guys, and then also the Silk and Heart people as well, which is always nice to have the chance to talk to them a little bit. And yeah, it was great seeing some other North Rhine-Westphalia people around. So yeah, support noise shows. Unfortunately, we don't have much in Cologne at the moment, but whatever the future brings. But until in your neighborhood or like in your community there aren't any noise shows yet, or even if there are, keep supporting the Charnel Ground Crude Transmissions Festival in Leiden, Netherlands. And yeah, thank you for watching, and there'll be a review coming out, I think during the weekend or beginning of next week, for Exposurize, Disintegrate, and then I'm gonna have the reviews coming again. I was just a little busy, but yeah, there's been a bunch of scripts created already for Heinz Hopf as well, and Jean-Claude Eroy, and I just have to find the time to create the videos and get them out there. So thank you for everybody who's interested, and have a great weekend. Bye bye.